Hey, what's up guys, aarava here, and welcome back to an episode of my F1 2018 career mode, episode number 144 today for the USA Grand Prix in Season 7. If you guys did miss the previous one, then be sure to go check that one out before you see this one. Quite an interesting one to say the least, the Japanese Grand Prix, but after that, hopefully we're bouncing back, and after that episode, like I said at the very end, we go again. Everything basically got reset after Suzuka, and once again we have to try and topple the momentum that Pierre Gasly has got. Going into this one then, once again, no teams upgrading, everyone plateauing, like I said. Most teams probably saving R&D points for that R&D reset that will be happening at the end of this season. So we're going to Q1 then. Doesn't look like there's going to be any rain for this weekend, so that's good for me because USA is already tough enough against AI, let alone with some rain. So hopefully it will stay dry completely on the entirety of Saturday and Sunday. So we go through Q1, setting 2 lap times on the same set of tyres there. The first lap was okay with P12, but I was a little bit worried we still wouldn't make it in if, we simulate the session or it fades to black and the AI just magically gained time. So I went for a second run just to doubly make sure I'd get through into Q2 because these days I'm very, very nervous about the whole simulation. It seems to be getting worse and worse as you go on through the career mode almost. So we do make it through, thankfully, with Leclerc actually, so quite similar times there. So hopefully that's not exactly where our car is, because if it is, we're in big trouble in terms of battling Gasly later on in Q2 and Q3 and then the race obviously. So we go through now to the end of our first line lap in Q2. Across the line wasn't a particularly amazing lap, but we're still up in P8 for now, so at least I'll take that, but there's definitely some more time to find on the table. So we go for another fresh set of ultra-soft tyres. So unfortunately this will mean we only have one run in Q3 on a fresh set of ultras, so that's going to be quite annoying, but needs must as we are P8 and that's a bit too close in honesty. And my teammate I think is below me in the chart, so we have to kind of get a move on it and try and find some time. You can see on the top right finding a lot of time on this lap here, so definitely needed to do this second lap, otherwise I wouldn't have made it into the top 10 shootout. As we go through the last corner, a little bit wide though, a lot of understeer there, taking a bit too much speed, but across the line, and thank God I did go for that second lap time because look how close that is. P10, I just about made it in to the top 10 shootout. Leclerc really stepped up his game in P4 there, so GG's to him, but yeah, we definitely needed that. But Sebastian Vettel, fair play, in the worst car on the grid, got up into 9th place. My former teammate from the Ferrari days, fair play to him, but we make it to the top 10 shootout. But now, like I said, because we used 2 sets of ultras there, I only have 1 set left, so we waited to the end of the session, so everyone has already set 1 lap time. This is my first run, most people's second run this is at the very end of the session. A little bit wayward on the exit of turn 1, hopefully that doesn't lose us too much time, but we go out there and try and do the best job we can. I will say I didn't actually fast forward the session, I let it play out, so hopefully the AI I haven't simulated, and this might work into my hands in terms of from the AI I might have slower lap times because I didn't fast forward the session and essentially simulate the session time. So hopefully this will be an okay one as we go through the last few turns, then the second turn, try and get it as tight as we can, not to go too wide on the exit curb, and then to the inside of turn on the last turn, not trying to go as wide as we did on that second run in Q2 across the line. And we're going to be in P6 ahead of our teammate who didn't have a very good lap time there in P9. Hamilton on pole position though, so at least he doesn't he stops Gasly getting pole, but Gasly's still in the front row. So like the last 4 episodes have been, Gasly's ahead of us, we're below him, and somehow in the race tomorrow we have to try and overtake him and do something clever. It'll be tough because USA, like Japan, might be a one-stop with the tyre wear that everyone's got on the grid now with the upgrades, but hopefully Hulkenberg there in 3rd place can try and jump Gasly. It'll be a 1-2 for Merkin. That may make our life a little bit easier, but you just never know really. So let's go to the grid, see how we do then, and like I said, we go again and we try and do the best job we can and try and upset Gasly.
What fantastic enthusiasm we have for Formula One here in the United States of America. And it's an enthusiasm born from generations of memorable Grand Prix racing. Bruce McLaren took his maiden victory at Sebring way back in 1959, and John Watson's 1983 victory at Long Beach, well, that still holds the record for the lowest ever starting position for a race winner. We have 10 turns to the left and 10 to the right here at the fantastic Circuit of the Americas. Overtaking opportunities into turn 1 and 12 at this anti-clockwise 3.6 mile track. And we should see average lap speeds of around 126 miles per hour. With me today is Anthony Davidson, a man who knows this circuit quite well. Why do you think, though, Ants, that this Grand Prix has now found such huge success since returning to the calendar in 2012?
Well, full credit to the race promoters. They have a Grand Prix in a part of the country famed for its love of motorsport, and they do a fantastic job of advertising it to the right crowd. and then satisfying them when they're here with excellent facilities. It also tends to help when the circuit itself is good, and that's definitely true here. The layout is interesting and it produces some exciting action. Hosting a thrilling title decider like we had in 2015 wouldn't hurt either, so the pressure's on then to maintain that kind of quality here today.
So with that, let's look at the starting grid ahead of this USA Grand Prix for Season 7 by F1 2018 career mode. On pole position is Lewis Hamilton, but alongside him is his teammate Nico Hülkenberg instead to go to have front row lockout for Mercedes. Max Verstappen in third place, myself elevated up into P4. Ocon in P5 with Charles Leclerc P6. Ricciardo and Sergio Perez next with P9 now. Pierre Gasly having a grid penalty moving down from second place. Magnussen P10 with Vandoorne and Carlos Sainz next. Fernando Alonso with a grid penalty in P13, with Grosjean, Raikkonen, Valtteri Bottas, Vettel and Sergio Sorokin down to P18, and then on the last row is Brendan Hartley and Lance Stroll with 2 grid penalties for both of them. Right, so here we are on the grid with a bit of a gift. Up in P4, our rival Gasly down to P9. This is the kind of gift we have to take advantage of, and we have to do a good job. It's a front row lockout for Mercedes now. We've got Verstappen on our right there in third place. We need to have a good start, and we need to capitalise on this because, you know, we've got a good track position now against Gasly, so we have a very good chance of maintaining a lead over him and trying to finish ahead of him. I don't know how many points we'll get over him in the end of it, but at least we'll finish ahead of him, hopefully, by the end of it. But we have a job to do first of all. So one stop, ultra soft tyres to soft tyres there, lowering the fuel as per usual. But here we go then. We've got a very good chance. Let's take it as we go to 5 red lights to the USA Grand Prix here in the Circuit of the Americas. 5 red lights are out and we're underway. It's a good start for us actually, and Verstappen a little bit slow as well as the second place man Nico Hülkenberg. Hamilton with a good getaway, but Leclerc out of nowhere with a huge dive bomb down the inside to make a triple overtake work into turn 1. We're side by side now with Verstappen. He was taken wide by Leclerc and Hülkenberg subsequently, and Leclerc, what a move that is there. Balls of steel round the outside of Hülkenberg, and he's up into P2 from what was P6 I think on the grid. He was directly behind me, so he technically made 4 overtakes into turn 2 by the time we got to turn 2 in the S section. And now we make a move down the inside of Hülkenberg, catch him napping there up the hill. We're up into P3, and so what a start it is for the entire Alfa Romeo Sauber team. Hamilton first place, Leclerc second, myself third, and Gasly hopefully is still down the order. I'm assuming he made a few positions maybe into sector 1, but he's nowhere near at least Hülkenberg and Verstappen for now, so he's at least minimum down in P7 or 8 I would say. But for now, what a start that has been, and so we'll see how this goes. Obviously remember Russia, Leclerc overtook us at Russia at the start and bolted away from us, so let's see how that works out for him now. As we move now 3 laps later onto lap number 4, DRS activated, and it looks like it's not going to be the case like Russia. We are catching up to Leclerc, and we've got some pace here. We face the right, go to the left down the inside, easy on the brakes though because it's our teammate there, nice and tight on the apex, give him the room on the outside there, and we're still side by side. He just gets across us there, and I'm just so careful not to smash the back of him there because I want to make this a clean overtake, but he's obviously got rights to defend his position. But like was the case at Belgium, I'm kind of hoping our team can call multi 1-2 at some point here because I am obviously the one in the championship fight. But for now, Leclerc stays put. Can we get him in the S section maybe? It looks like I definitely have a bit more pace than him at the moment. He may have been good on turn 1, lap 1, but now I've got the superior pace. Down the inside we go. It's going to be very close. A little bit of contact made there as it's a very awkward tightening corner, but up the hill we go, and we're up the order into second place there. And so Leclerc made it a little bit easier for me on that second attempt there, and so now can we try and do anything about chasing off the Hamilton? Doesn't look like it on the minimap to be fair because he's so far away. And speaking about the Mercedes car, the other Mercedes of Hülkenberg down in P4, but yellow flags and Hülkenberg goes slow. Verstappen through, Ocon, Gasly, Ricciardo, and Hülkenberg is slowing up there. It's going to be a retirement for the German I think in the Mercedes car. He's got issues. That's such a shame for him as Leclerc now dives around the outside. Big lock up for our teammate there, but he's made it round the outside and he's back up into P2. Meanwhile, we move back to Hülkenberg and he's still retiring there. He pulls up finally and finds some runoff there, and he's out of the Grand Prix. Mechanical failure I would assume because there's no smoke there, so something else must have broken on his car. Unfortunately, he's out. So Verstappen is now up into P4, and like I said, Ocon is in P5 and Gasly now in P6 then. So that's the running order. Bit of a Toro Rosso sandwich there for the 2 Red Bulls in either side of the Frenchman there, but we've got more yellow flags as we move on to lap number 6 now. And oh, look at that, look at the top left, Leclerc's up into P1, we're up into P2, Hamilton down. The full safety car is being called out now because Lewis Hamilton is out of the Grand Prix. A catastrophe for the Mercedes guys, a complete implosion of the Silver Arrows. They were running 1 in 4 and now they're both DNF'd out of this Grand Prix. Toto Wolff is going to be so pissed off on the pit wall there for both their drivers there. Good position, leading the race, and and he's out. And it's the same thing, mechanical failure. So maybe the same issue has compounded and hurt Hamilton as it did Hülkenberg there. The full safety car's now out, so we come in for the pit stop, double stack against Leclerc. Now this was a tricky situation because we are going to lose time now doing this double stack in the pit lane, but obviously it's a safety car period, you get a free pit stop, and I'd rather lose maybe 1 or 2 positions in the pit stop phase here than lose about 5 or 10, because if I stayed out, obviously the safety car's going to bunch everyone up, and I would have started to make 1 more pit stop in this Grand Prix. So it was worthwhile making the free pit stop, although we have lost 2 positions there to Ocon and Gasly. You can see Gasly is up ahead of us, already out ahead. We really stayed ahead of that Renault car, but we have lost the place. We're behind Ocon and Gasly, but it will work out for the better, because if I'd stayed out, I would have been in Verstappen's position right now, and that just wouldn't have been great. So we're down here in P12. Gasly is 2 positions ahead of us as we go green now, and we get racing once again on lap number 8. We're on super softs now, so he swapped it because everyone looks like it's swapping to a 2-stop. So I followed that suit. My engineer recommended that. I just stuck with it, and so we're on super softs now. We're going to make another pit stop later on this Grand Prix, but now we get a move on here. Big dive bomb down the inside of the Toro Rosso car. We do have the better car compared to the Toro Rosso, and we're up into P11 and straight away now behind Gasly. And look at who's ahead of Gasly. It's a Williams car, so it's now or never. This is the best opportunity to overtake Gasly, because he's going to be very slow behind this Williams car. And look at that, the Williams car, literally like a mobile chicane, slows them up. An absolute treat. Round the outside we go, to the outside for the next right-hander, then the inside for the next left, up the hill, down the inside of the Williams. We just about squeezed through there, and we're up the order, and that's 2 positions gained in 1 sector, and Gasly is still behind that Williams car there as he now pulls out to the outside to make the move around the outside of the Williams car. We used that slow car to good effect, and that was timed perfectly. Now we're already behind Leclerc, so we pretty much already gained back the positions we lost, basically, because the rest of the guys did not make a pit stop on the safety car, to their detriment, because they will obviously have to make that second pit stop eventually in this Grand Prix. Leclerc now goes round the outside, and he's made the overtake very quickly on Raikkonen in the inferior Ferrari car. So all is well still at the moment. We're ahead of Gasly, we made a free pit stop, and we're now on a more aggressive 2-stop, which should be easier to make than the Grand Prix, because the tyre saving around USA, it is difficult, so our lives have been made a little bit easier now with this more aggressive 2-stop. We're finding some issues trying to get past Raikkonen, and he's blocking us off quite a treat in the last corner as we go now into turn 1. A dive around the outside is going to have to be really trying to pounce around, but he's going to have to try and squeeze us out. Raikkonen he's going to have a good opportunity to do that as we hit his side pod and barge wall a little bit there, but we have a bit of a moment getting the elbows out, and we're up into P8 now, and we chase after Leclerc, who's subsequently still chasing after another car. So this is quite good, actually. Initially, you know, I had some pace over Leclerc, but now he's found his feet a little bit in this stint so far, and he's getting a move on, so we can work as a team basically and make our way through this traffic, and eventually we'll catch up to those top guys there. You can see on the minimap just then, up the road, is Verstappen leading the way, and he's just ahead of a McLaren and a Renault. So eventually, Verstappen will fall behind us. So this is the correct decision that we made under the pit stop. I'm very adamant about that, because we've already got ahead of Gasly anyway, like I said. So now we just watch on. Will Leclerc make a move on that racing point? Force India up ahead of us. Is he going to the inside or the outside? Let's see. He pulls to the outside. Looks like it's a late move, because the Force India locks up there. But this is Leclerc with supreme confidence, barges his way past down the inside, and actually the way he's overtaken him leaves the Force India vulnerable to us as we now go around the outside for a fantastic move on Bottas there, catching him napping up into P7, Leclerc P6. Leclerc now, initially, you know, that first stint didn't look a little bit too fast as I tried to overtake him, but now he's got the confidence back that he had from lap 1, turn 1, with the dive bombs back again. So this is the Leclerc I need to turn up, not just for my championship's sake. Remember, constructors, we fell behind Red Bull Honda, so this is the way we can maybe get back into play for the constructors with Leclerc performing so well as well. So here we go now on the next lap, lap 11, DRS open for us, so we're within 1 second of Leclerc, but he's well within 1 second of the car ahead of us, as meanwhile Gasly behind has overtaken Bottas, and now ahead of us Leclerc trying to overtake Sergio Perez. So Gasly keeps on trying to, you know, stick with us, and we keep on trying to, you know, push cars in between myself and Gasly. And so Leclerc forces the hand of Perez there and has a little bit of a moment with him, and that allows us to go around the outside of him on that off-camber stadium corner, and we're down the inside now of the triple right-hander, and we made the move stick, and we're up the order once again. But look at that in the background, Gasly right up the chuff and gearbox of Perez straight away. So it really is like I'm throwing almost like bananas back in Mario Kart at Gasly, trying to throw some hurdles in his way, and he just keeps on dodging them. So for now, we move on later to lap 12. Gasly again on the top left. Look, Gasly's made the move on Perez, and right on time, Gasly makes the move, or tries to make the move, on the Haas car of Kevin Magnussen, I think that is. So again, can we try and overtake the Haas and throw another car in the way of Gasly behind us? So we have a bit of an oversteer moment. We duck it to the inside there very slow at the apex there. First gear, really take it nice and tight there. Go down the inside, plant the power, and we get it done on our former teammate from Haas up the order into what is now P4, Leclerc P3, and there's only 2 cars left in this Grand Prix, which is the Renault and McLaren of Carlos Sainz and Daniel Ricciardo, I believe. Verstappen has already made his pit stop then and is behind us, and so we go through the last corner that McLaren and Renault make their pit stop. So across the line to lap 13, Leclerc leads the way. I'm in P2. It's a 1-2 for Alfa Romeo Sauber, and Gasly is in P3 now. So now we're closing up to Leclerc. It's time to try and make the move on our teammate and try and hopefully bolt away in first place. If he has any kind of common sense, he'll hopefully not make the pass too difficult, because he's done some great driving obviously so far in this Grand Prix, but at the end of the day he's not in the championship fight. So I'm praying Charles doesn't make it a difficult one as we go through now on the main straight, the back straight, DRS open, overtake mode, rich mix going, getting the speed there in the slipstream, pull to the left hand side, back to the racing line, then cut across, and we're up into first place. Leclerc down to P2. He doesn't make it difficult, and so now it's a 1-2, but we've swapped it around, and now I've got to pray we can try and get away from Leclerc. And if Gasly has the pace to close up to both of us, maybe Leclerc can do me a solid and try and hold him behind. And that's exactly what he's going to do, is move on to, I think, 2 or maybe 1 or 2 laps later, and Leclerc is doing that job. He's being a wonderful teammate now, and he's holding up Gasly as much as he can for P3 right there and keeping him at bay in that 3rd podium slot. And that's not the only attempt Gasly will make, as he'll keep on coming and try and get that 2nd place, because of course once he's in 2nd he has free air to try and catch up to me. And Leclerc once again very defensive on the inside, but Gasly finds some room on the outside of turn 1 and does very well down the hill. They're side by side, neck and neck, and he's actually ahead now into the S section, though. Leclerc comes back with a very ballsy move and continues in 2nd place. So he is doing a fabulous job as a teammate here, and is holding up Gasly a real treat to allow me to get away and be comfortable in 1st place right now. Once again he tries it on the back straight, Gasly does. On the outside, Leclerc defensive there and is solid as a rock to keep 2nd place, and so that is very good. That is a good teammate. That is complete. That undoes everything he did in Spa, where he was really just trying to annoy me by getting the place at the Belgian Grand Prix, by doing a solid job right now. USA, he's done one for the team, done one for me, and Gasly now comes into the pit lane for his pit stop 1 lap earlier than I thought he would do. So now I'm going to push on, and I'm going to come in on that very next lap, because I don't want him to get too much of an undercut. And so here we come now on lap 16. We've got 12 laps to go in this Grand Prix. Another set of super soft tyres is what the doctors ordered, and so we'll go to the end of this Grand Prix. But the gap we pulled to Gasly and Leclerc, I'm not worried that he'll get an undercut. I mean, that was too much of a gap to undercut, I think. So we're going to come in now with supreme confidence that we should be in a good position. We will fall behind a few other cars that are out of sync of this Grand Prix, namely the McLaren and the Renault of Carlos Sainz and Ricciardo, because both of those guys obviously did not pit under the safety car, so they're on soft tyres trying to go to the end on a 1-stop this year. So we come out in P3, just about ahead of Verstappen there, you can see. So very crucial we got ahead of Verstappen, because he doesn't hold us up, and now we have a free clean track ahead of us to try and close up to the McLaren and the Renault. But now we move on to look at Charles Leclerc making the pit stop onto another set of super soft tyres like we did. I'm going to see where he comes now and where Gasly is, because I don't know where Gasly is in relation. I think that's him on the left hand side, just on the very faint left. And so Leclerc comes out into turn 1. He is ahead of Gasly, because there's Gasly is in the background there, just ahead of Esteban Ocon. So that's absolutely brilliant. So at the moment it's Sainz from Ricciardo, myself, Verstappen, then I believe it's another different car of the Toro Rosso, then maybe Leclerc, Gasly, and then the other Toro Rosso. So we're looking very good. Gasly's way down the order, and everything is shaping up very nicely. We're on the faster tyre. We should have the pace. Let's go and chase after this McLaren and Renault and try and get that 1st place slot. And we're doing just that as we move on to lap 18 then, through the last 2 corners, really quick compared to Ricciardo, because the soft tyres just aren't a very good race tyre around here. They go quite long around Kota, but we've got the supreme grip on the super soft tyres, closing right up through the last corner. DRS open. We set the fast lap of the Grand Prix so far, so going very well, obviously using the new rubber. I wouldn't be surprised though if Leclerc and Gasly also have some times to pop in. But down the inside we go. Little bit of contact on the inside there as Ricciardo really pinches me to the apex there, but down the hill then we're neck and neck around the outside we go, and just before the S section we get ahead up into P2 now, and now we can try and chase after Carlos Sainz in that Renault and try and get the 1st place we deserve here as we go through now on lap 20 through that hairpin and to the back straight. DRS will be available. We've got hot lap right now, down to overtake mode now on the ERS, trying to get the speed in 8th gear. Rich mix is going this entire time, and so here we go. Easy does it on the right hand side, fly past and back to the racing line, Nice and easy under braking. Don't want to try and lock up and go too wide there. And we're up into first place. So now we try and control our race. We've done our job in first place. And we'll see what goes on, because Gasly is going to try again to attack Charles Leclerc here and try and overtake him. And even though Leclerc's not even fighting for second place anymore, he's still doing a great job to keep ahead of Gasly. But Gasly makes a supreme dive down the inside, though, to be fair to him, in the last sector, and gets ahead of Leclerc. So Gasly has finally done it, but to be fair, Leclerc's already done his job. He's held up Gasly enough where Gasly's down in P5, I believe, right there. But Leclerc actually comes back. What a man this is. DRS open, dives around the outside, and Gasly's pinched into the apex there, and Leclerc will get those elbows out once again, like he did to the Force Indy cars, chuck it down the inside for the next right-hander, squeeze Gasly out, and he'll get that position. Gasly tries his best there. You saw a bit of contact made, but Leclerc gets the place back. What a man, what a teammate, and he's back ahead of Gasly. And so now Gasly is now going to stare at the back of that red Alfa Romeo Sauber car once again, and he's actually got the Toro Rosso pressurizing him a little bit there, actually, in the background. As we move on through the Grand Prix, down the back straight, Ocon is actually going to come quite fast in the Toro Rosso and overtake him on the left-hand side there. And so what is this? Gasly going slow for some reason. Does he have some sort of issues trying to nurse the car home? It looks like it, because the Toro Rosso is past and he's overtaken him. And then the Renault of Fernando Alonso is going to come through as well. Obviously, Sainz is up there with me in second place, and this is so Alonso making moves finally. Down the inside he goes and back to the racing line, and he's overtaking Gasly as well. So Gasly's just lost 3 positions then after initially overtaking Leclerc. And so that is another miracle we just needed. Compounding that, we've got first place and Gasly's down the order. And so this is a very momentous day here at USA as we come through the last corner to win the USA Grand Prix and take the lead of the Drivers' Championship.
Great drive. We did it. Good job.
A great win then for the Sauber team today. Anthony, what do you think made the difference here?
Without a doubt, the safety car changed everything today. The key to their success was keeping calm and reacting to the situation quickly. We've seen teams in the past throw away wins because they were too hesitant, but here they were decisive, and that's allowed them to take the advantage.
So, here they come out now onto the podium after a thrilling Grand Prix. It just goes to show what a strong position the sport is in, that these independent teams can be so competitive. What a superb victory from the Sauber team.
Absolute scenes here at COTA. First place, Leclerc gets P4. I would have hoped he could have maybe made back to P2, but because he was fighting Gasly so much in that second stint and the last stint, to be fair, I think he got held up a bit too much to try and get that podium position, but at least he got 4th place. And in the Drivers' Championship then, with Gasly way down the order, P9 he got in the end, so he got overtaken even more than we saw on the replay cameras. He's down to 2nd place in the championship. We're now ahead by 7 points, so the tides have turned. How about that? I was ready to throw in the towel after last episode because I thought, okay, it's swung right back to Gasly. There's no way I can do it. But it all started with the grid penalty Gasly got at the very start of this Grand Prix. And then Leclerc making a dive bomb, defending against Gasly after it overtook him. And then everything at the end. The entire weekend, absolutely amazing. And constructors-wise, we're now level on points with Red Bull Honda with that 1-4 we got. So it's game on in the constructors as well as the Drivers' Championship. What a momentous episode that has been for the team and myself. So guys, if you have enjoyed that, be sure to smash that like button. Let me know your thought in the comments below. If you are new around here, get subscribed for weekly full-on content, and it's game time there. 3 races to go, and it is very much on in the championship for both fights. Let's do this thing. Till next time, guys. Hope you enjoy the rest of the day. Goodbye.